One of the things we've been focusing a lot on here on Bishop on Air is the migrant crisis. Even though Illinois and in particular Chicago, that's being impacted directly, is 1,000+ miles from the southern U.S. border. What's going on with the incoming foreign nationals crossing the border outside of regular ports of entry? It's impacting Illinois, despite us being physically a long distance away. Well, I talked with former state senator Darren Bailey, who's running against a Republican incumbent in the Southern District Congressional District, Mike Bost, U.S. Congressman, representative. He's running as an incumbent in the March 19th primary, but Darren Bailey, being a Republican, after not securing the Illinois governorship, decided to run for U.S. representative. Well, he's traveling down to the southern border, and I connected with him earlier today. This is some of what he had to say when we chatted about what exactly he's hoping to do and in the southern U.S. border with a visit and in a news conference later on this afternoon. Former state senator Darren Bailey joins me now. He is actually not in Illinois, where he's from. He traveled down to the southern U.S. border to show what's going on down there. Darren, thanks for taking time with us. Why is this important?
Well, good morning. It's very important because of, I think, recent activities, recent interest of, all Republican governors. They were in Texas at the border yesterday doing a press conference. I mean, this we're starting to see the possibilities that all communities throughout Illinois, might be soon housing illegal immigrants, and this invasion has certainly turned into a crisis that not only is affecting every community, but then we have to back up and take a look at the resources that are being used for this that now aren't being used for our veterans, for our senior citizens, for the people, for American citizens that need the help the most. This crisis is, I believe, out of control like no other crisis ever has been in our country.
So when it comes to what you could possibly do as a member of Congress, I mean, you would just be one of hundreds in a sea of different opinions. What should be done about the influx of foreign nationals crossing the border?
Well, the same thing that was done for many, many years in this country. The fact that if you want to come to this country, you do so legally. This situation that's taking place could very well, upset and turn the tide of governance in our country. So, when you consider the movement that was created since I and other conservative representatives joined the House in Springfield, we spoke up. We wouldn't settle. We wouldn't rest. We continue to educate our constituents, and not just our constituents, but it turned out that we were educating the entire state of Illinois. So, I'm running against someone, Mike Bost, who is a co-chair of the Main Street Caucus. And when you look up the Main Street Caucus to see what they stand for, in 2022, Mike Bost himself purposely said that, well, immigration isn't one of the things we're focused on. We have these 5 pillars, but it's not immigration. Well, these other 5 pillars and nothing else matters for us in Illinois if we don't curb this tide of illegal immigration.
So I guess when you could, get down there and you'll see what's happening. Spell out a little bit of what we expect today with your schedule. I mean, you live in Southern Illinois, but you're down to the southern U.S. border. What are you hoping to learn?
Well, we're going to have some people who are familiar with the area and with the Border Patrol with us, showing us around and giving us the information. I mean, I think everyone knows what is taking place, but with the recent advent of the truckers convoy and just the Republican governors that came down here, I think it's important to be down here and again just raise awareness, because I believe that because of the failure and the lack of action specifically against my congressman, that it's leading I believe, to some really detrimental times for all the people in Illinois. We simply cannot afford this in this nation. We've been spending money recklessly. We've got many, many needs, and now to consider and see the resources that are going towards this. The frustration. I want to take advantage of times like this to point out the failures of my opponent. The very fact that as the chair of the Veterans Administration, that we found out in December that resources from the VA have been going to process these illegal aliens coming across the border for the last several years, and where's the outcry for that? How can you be chair of a committee and not know that? So DC, much like many times in Springfield, is just filled with too much incompetence, and I'm here to call that out and inform the people and let them know that, hey, it's time for a new fighter to take your place.
So is this as simple as just making people aware of these types of situations, or what specifically could you do as a member of Congress to, I don't know, if Biden gets in another term, what can you do? How do you hold him accountable? Is it passing resolutions or bills to enforce the border, or is it to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas, or to impeach the president, whoever it is in charge? How do you specifically get a hold of the situation?
Well, all of the above, but Greg, I continually believe that the most important issue is exactly that movement that was growing over the last several years, and I believe it has grown much larger even since the November 8th election of 2022. And unfortunately, only 45% of all registered voters showed up to vote in Illinois. People are frustrated, and they need to know, not to give up. They need to know that their voice and their vote does matter. But unfortunately, we've had so many failed politicians in Illinois that people want to throw their hands up. And I think that I offer something different. My voice, my fight, it offers hope. It offers another chance. It offers the possibility that we can turn this around. But we have got to have someone like myself. I've proved my work ethic. I will not stop. I won't rest. I'll say what needs to be said. I'll do what needs to be done. And it's to give the people hope that they will rise up and desire to get to get this recklessness and failure of our government under control. And I believe that in Springfield it was tough because we're in the super minority, and laws were being passed. You couldn't really you had to struggle and fight. That's why our voice became louder. But when we consider the level playing field in D.C., that's where we have a chance. But that's why we need someone fighting for the people and not being so concerned about the next election. That's the failure of why and the reason why we have this problem.
Well, that's former state senator Darren Bailey. Conversation I had with him earlier this morning. We'll have to talk with him again in the near future. I also have to reach out to Mike Bost, the incumbent Republican in that congressional district that Bailey is challenging for the March 19th primary. So interesting to see Darren heading to the southern U.S. border. We will check in to see what he had to say on his social media channels when he holds a news conference at about 1 o'clock Central Time from the southern U.S. border. A former state senator from Illinois who's running for an Illinois congressional district, traveling to the southern U.S. border with, I believe, State Representative Blaine Wilhauer, who also faces a Republican opponent in the March 19th primary. So interesting times, even in Republican politics. You've got some contentious things going on. All right, so there's a conversation with former state senator Darren Bailey. More to come. It is Bishop on Air. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air.